Hey, this is Paige from Mosaic Moments, and today I am doing a full layout demo with the row of hearts die, which is this one right here. As you can see, it's pretty long. It's 1x6 squares long, and I'm going to create a fun and unique layout today. I hope you enjoy it, so let's get started. First, I'm going to cut some mat for my photos. This die is the 4x4 square die from set A. This one is the 3x4 die from set C, and I'm going to actually cut with this one twice. So these three mats will be mats for three of my photos. I'm cutting my first photo with the layering die from set A, and this one will fit the 4x4 square. And now I'm cutting a couple of photos for the 3x4 mats. So again, this is a layering die from set C, and again it will fit in right in that 3x4 mat space. And I'm also cutting two extra photos. This is the 2x3 die from set C, and these photos, there's this one and I'm going to cut another one. These two are going to fit right on the grid, so I did not cut any mats for these. So it's always an option. You don't always have to mat your photographs. You can cut them to the grid size. This is the 1x6 die from set E, and this will be the background for my row of hearts die. And that's an easy way to fill in the background. This is the row of hearts die that I showed earlier. And now I just cut it through the machine, and I'm just trying to get my pair of tweezers here. So I'm going to put it in the corner to get that frame piece out, which is what I'm going to use on my layout. Next, I grabbed some pattern paper, and this time, instead of keeping the frame piece, I'm going to keep the little hearts, which is really easy to punch out once you cut it through. See, you just stick your finger in and they come right out. And there are my hearts. I'm using the Harmadato dispenser with repositional glue. I just put some glue on the back of my 4x4 square, and I'm going to do the same thing again on these 3x4 blocks. You don't need to use a ton of glue. I just put some in each corner and some in the center, and that's really all you need to keep it on your paper. These photos were cut with the 2x3 square die from set C, and by squares I mean squares on the grid paper. Placing my photo down, and I think I put it in the wrong spot, so that's why it's nice to have the repositional glue in case you put things in the wrong space. Now I'm going to carefully use my glue on the back of this row of hearts die. It's not too bad to get it on there. And then I'm going to place it right on that background piece I cut with the die in set E. Now I'm gluing the back of this strip. And now I'm going to line it up on the grid. And the reason why I wanted the photo down was to make sure that the right edge was lined up correctly, or else it would have been a little more difficult to see. Because as you can see, I can't see the grid over the square. So to get that overlap look, I recommend having something to give you an idea where the placement needs to be. And also the lines in the grid paper help with alignment as well. I've just stuck these hearts in the Xyron sticker machine, which you have probably seen me use before. It is so handy for these small pieces, especially for those little intricate 1-inch dies. So I just placed a couple of them in the die, and now I'm using scissors to cut off the edge because I want it to be seen on the other side. So when I put the photograph on top, it appears that whole row goes the entire way. So instead of having to cut two of them, you can just use some scissors and cut part of it. So a pretty neat trick. Alright, so I'm gluing down my next row of hearts die, which yes is kind of a long name to repeat over and over. Alright, I'm gluing down the back, and this time I can just line it over the grid paper. It just overlaps on top of that cardstock mat. So another thing you can do with the dies, including this one, is overlapping, which adds more interest to your page. And it's nice to have the grid paper because you can still line it up. While you don't see the lines in the center, you do line it up with obviously the squares on the right and left side of the mats. Alright, I had placed my hearts in and I'm putting my photo on top. So this is a really neat look. I enjoy playing around with the dies a bit more and experimenting. And one of the fun things I have discovered is this overlapping trick. And I'm going to do this again on the top. I'm placing the hearts in on both sides because I want that pattern paper to show. Once that's done, I can again place my photograph on top. And that part is finished. Now I'm using the 1-inch grid die on some pattern paper to make it into mosaic pieces. So just rolled it into the machine. And yes, the squares are stuck together intentionally so you don't lose them so easily. And one trick is to glue it all down so that way when you're putting the squares on the page, the gluing part is already done. You don't have to sit there and glue each one individually. That would take much longer. And of course, we just love the grid paper because all these mosaic pieces can be put down perfectly every time. Now it's pretty normal that some of the squares might be crooked. So usually I just take some time when I'm done and see if there's any to move over, and you can just easily shift them if you need to. Alright, this block was cut with the 1x3 die from set B, by the way. Alright, so I decided I didn't really like the way the rows looked. I felt the page was unbalanced. So to balance it out, I decided to shift the rows over to match with the one I did in the center. So again, I just felt like it was more balanced this way. And this is why it's nice to have the repositional glue, because you just never know. You may decide you don't like something and you need to change it. So that repositional glue is handy. And I feel like the page is more balanced now. Alright, I'm putting down more mosaic pieces. By the way, a lot of times, especially with the paper, sometimes the die leaves little tabs and you can easily snip those off with scissors if you need. Alright, last thing I'm going to do is add these numbers. This is from the numbers 2, or excuse me, it's actually numbers 3 die. So I just put those in the Xyron machine and glued it down, and now my page is complete. So this was a really fun page to create. Because the row of hearts die is long, you are able to do these fun overlapping tricks. So I hope you experiment with your scrapbooking at home and do fun techniques like this one. Anyway, if you enjoyed this tutorial, be sure to give our video a like, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel to be updated on future videos. Anyway, I hope you have fun scrapbooking at home. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.